I summon the Golden Dragon, rising from darkness to destroy my enemies. Ride! Spectral Duke Dragon!
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Steven Rodriguez. I'm your true champion, and before we get into my Gold Paladin Spectral Duke Dragon deck for the brand new meta of Cardfight Vanguard Zero, I did have a special announcement to make. First things first, I want to give a huge shout out to all you guys out there who watched and supported the brand new series on my channel called Cardfight Vanguard Trivia. It's a really neat series where I kind of talk about, the archetypes of the Cardfight Vanguard TCG, go over some fun facts about them, the lore behind the cards, really in-depth stuff. And you guys really supported that series, so I'm excited to kind of continue making it. I plan on releasing one Vanguard Trivia video every 2 weeks, so if you guys are excited and want to check out the first 2 episodes, links can be found down below. Also, I had a special, sort of logistical announcement, I guess, for you guys. I'm going to be changing up the way I upload videos here on YouTube. Basically, instead of doing 3 to 4 random videos, I'm going to try and stick to a set schedule or a set, guarantee for you guys of 5 videos every single week for the month of August. I'll try and get them out every single weekday, but a video might be pushed depending on how hard it is to make. I'm sure you guys have noticed that I've started kind of branching out my content from just Vanguard Zero or just Cardfight Vanguard to say Digimon content or generic TCG level content, so I want to start making more stuff like that, and maybe even the occasional anime/vlog video. I think it'd be really cool, so let me know some suggestions you guys have for videos that I could do down in the comments below, but I'm really excited to sort of get this new schedule started, as well as just get the overall consistency and the vibe of the channel evolving and changing, because, I like changing and I like becoming better, and hopefully thanks to you guys I can keep becoming better here on YouTube. If you guys are excited for all the things happening here on the channel and over on Twitch, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell for notifications, so that way you guys know when my videos go live for you. I think something like 60-ish% or a little bit less than that of you guys aren't actually subscribed that watch these videos, so just know that I'll be posting videos 5 times a week for the foreseeable future, and I'll do all kinds of things from Vanguard Zero to TCG to anime to even vlogs maybe, so just know that subscribing is always an option. Also, I think we're this close to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, which thank you guys so much. It's unbelievable. And if you want to subscribe and make that even closer, I'd really appreciate that. But guys, with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into my brand new Gold Paladin deck list for the Set 6 format in Cardfight Vanguard Zero. Okay guys, before I hop into the actual deck list and what the cards are, I want to briefly state that I know there are 2 versions of Duke roaming around out there. It's called Shadow Duke, which is the Shadow Paladin version, and then there's this version, which is Gold Paladin, because Spectral Duke Dragon is one of the few cards that can actually be used in multiple clans. So I will be covering my Shadow Paladin Duke deck profile tomorrow, so definitely be sure to check out that one. I have said before on streams, and I'll say it again here for you guys, I actually don't have a preference when it comes to which one is better. I think they're equal in terms of how good they are, in terms of how meta relevant they are, but they're not the same deck. They're very different, actually. One is very aggressive, advantageous focused, while the other one, this one, is going to be more focused on board presence and general, I want to say, steady aggression versus just outright pressure created by advantage like the Shadow Paladin ones. Just wanted to get that out of the way because I know someone in the comments was going to be, well, what about Shadow Duke? It's coming, okay? It's coming tomorrow. Get excited for it. Okay, so first things first, you'll notice I don't have 4 Dukes. I'm sorry, I'm working on it, but luckily we do have a rental system for set 6, so I can still get this video out to you guys and actually use this deck. Also, really quickly, you'll notice that I'm also playing a split trigger lineup, not playing 9 crit or 9 draw. I'm playing 4 crit and 5 draw because I feel like the deck requires some way to sort of plus into your hand, but having those nice synergistic crits with a Vanguard that does not need to hit in order to restand is really nice for pushing out PGs, as well as just sort of having extra pressure against your opponent, which is always nice to have, especially in a game like Vanguard Zero. But with all that easy stuff out the way, let's go ahead and talk about the nitty gritty. Our brand new card in Gold Paladin and Shadow Paladin, Spectral Duke Dragon. He has 2 big skills. The first one is Limit Break 4 once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard, counterblast 2, and retire 2 rear guards. To stand it and draw a card, this unit loses Twin Drive until end of turn. Very similar to how Stern Blaukluger works, but instead of discarding 2 cards, you have to retire 2 of your rear guards in order to restand, and it's also once per turn and Limit Break. So a lot more restrictions, but in a deck like Gold Paladin that can generate a lot of pressure through its rear guards and the superior calling of rear guards, this is actually a really easier skill to kind of get off than, say, Stern Blaukluger, because you can constantly have more cards on board, but sometimes it's hard to have enough cards in hand in order to actually keep attacking. Plus, this is a nice way for Gold Paladin to sort of guarantee 2 damage against its opponent every single turn by having multiple attacks. So now if your opponent has 2 intercepts, you can just kill both of them and then swing twice with your Vanguard and then deal 2 damage, really nice. The thing this deck has been lacking for pretty much the last month. And then his last skill is if the grade 2 Vortimer's in his soul, he gains plus 1k, making him an 11k base. He is a ride chain deck, so of course he has that kind of mechanic. Let's briefly talk about the ride chain. We have the Vortimers, we have the grade 0, the grade 1, and the grade 2, all out of 4 of, because they're the ride chain and you need them. The grade 0 has a really nice, cool skill that when the grade 1 rides on top of it, you can look at the top 7 for either the grade 2 or the grade 3, very similar to how Riviere works, and then add one of them to your hand. But if you don't find any one of them, you can actually just call this card to Rearguard Circle, which is actually super good, because when you ride the grade 2 on top of the grade 1, you can actually retire one of your rear guards in order to superior call the top 2 cards of your deck. So let's say, I think the best scenario for this kind of skill is, say you go first, you already have everything in your hand, the grade 2 and the grade 3, and then you ride the grade 1, you search, you don't see anything, you call out the grade 0, and then on your next turn, without needing to commit anything else from hand, you get an awesome +2 thanks to your Vortimer ride chain, and then you can ride again on top of your Spectral Duke Dragon and then make that +2 into a +3 without anything else. No draw triggers, no restands, no funny business. And it's just really good and adds to sort of what you want to be doing with Spec Duke Dragon later, because even if you call like useless units like a Destroyer or like a Damage Adder really early, you'll just kill them off and then you'll get more and more effects later on that can actually create pressure against your opponent. So it's a really good ride chain, really has nice synergy, and really works in Gold Paladin, so I like it a lot. Really quickly, the rest of our grade 3s you'll notice are kind of like the, the classic good stuff Gold Paladin package. We have 4 Blonde Ezel and 4 Pelennor, and the reason why we're playing Ezel is because he's just like a really strong card. Like, he's had so many buffs and he just creates an entire board out of literally nowhere, and so it's a really nice way for you to kind of counter the way people like to play against this deck. Spectral Duke Dragon actually kind of suffers a little bit against retired base decks like Kagero or even Shadow Paladin sometimes, so having a nice way to sort of refill your board in the mid to late game is really nice, and Ezel serves that purpose. And then finally, this might be a little controversial, I'm playing 4 copies of Pelennor as my heal trigger, and my reasoning for this is that this deck has a lot of ways to superior call during the main phase, or like even the right phase even. So say, for example, I rode my grade 2 Vortimer, and if I was playing 4 Destroyer, which is the 12k attacker, as my heal trigger, I would call one of them and be like, okay, cool, I have a 12k attacker, but say I went second and my opponent's now a grade 2, and I ride my Vortimer grade 2 and I get a Pelennor instead, well, basically I get a Vanguard that has a crit attached to it, and I attack it, and now I don't really care if I lose out on that extra unit I get when I ride into Spectral Duke Dragon, because I already have a great Vanguard, and I've already pressured a crit against my opponent, making the game that much easier to win for myself, basically. So I really like having this option. I think it's a really nice heal trigger. If you don't have 4 copies of Pelennor, just run more copies of the 12k, but I think running some number of Pelennor is really nice, but if you don't want to run like 1 or 2, which I agree are awkward numbers, just playing 2 grade 3 Garmor, the Great Civil Wolf, is a really good option as a backup. Moving on to grade 2s, I've already briefly talked about our grade 2 Vortimer, really powerful card, adds to our, entire strategy of needing more cards on board, as well as just being a way to make our Vanguard Spectral Duke Dragon an 11k attacker. But you'll notice that my grade 2 live is kind of hodgepodgey. So we have the 3 trips, solid, we need to countercharge. He does counterblast 2. This deck counterblasts a lot, we need a way to countercharge. Pretty simple. But then you'll notice I'm playing 2/2/2, Lop-Ear Shooter, Vivian, and Damage Adder. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I am playing cards like Pelennor, I am playing cards like Vortimer. So when you have like these cards that naturally want to keep extending themselves in terms of your superior calling, in terms of your combos with superior calling, it's nice to have as many options as possible. So a card like Vivian is really nice towards the end of the game when I'm trying to push for game and maybe get some extra value out of having 4 Pelennor, or out of having like cards like Trip, or even just powerful beat sticks that I can call late game to kind of push for damage. A card like Lop-Ear is really nice when I call him off Vortimer, because then I can turn a free +2 into a discard to fill my board with 3 units instead of having to counterblast. He's a really nice way to sort of save counterblasts when you don't have enough to spare, so we can use both Duke and maybe other skills as well. And then finally we have the 2 Master of Pain, because we are a limit break deck and we need to be able to kind of have limit break if our opponent tries to damage deny us, which does happen a lot. And yeah, I feel like these are just like really generic good cards you can play in this deck that make your whole entire strategy work. Now if you don't have your Vivians, I think replacing Vivians with Lop-Ear is the obvious switch and works really well. And then, of course, finally, we have our grade 1s. We have the 4 grade 1 Vortimer. We kind of need it for our ride chain to get things going, so, of course, it's a 4 of. Then we have our 3 Disciple of Pain, which is the grade 1 damage add. It's just nice to have, like, 4 or 5 options to have damage adders. I kind of wanted to play a 6th damage adder. I might cut a Din Drain for it, because Din Drain, while being a nice way to sort of +1, because we do superior call from the deck a lot, it's just like, it's just there to be nice. It's not really there for any particular reason other than being a +1 every now and then, which is still generically just great, but not necessarily needed. So yeah, guys, there you go. I think this deck would work better or more consistently if you played 9-draw, which totally makes sense to me, but I like having the extra crits in there because there's some really cool like scenarios that happen where, like, say your opponent's at 4 damage and you check a crit on your first swing and they PG it because that's what happens in the game, but then you restand because you can restand even when you're guarded, and then you attack again, and now this time they don't have the PG and now they lose. Or say they have it again, well, you forced out 2 PGs that turn, when in reality you probably would have only forced out 1 because they were at 4 damage and they would have guarded the second one. So I like having the crits in here because it naturally synergizes with Spectral Duke, but I think if you are a bit, you know, like me and you like having just good consistency most of the time, then you can play the 9 draws, but I'm telling you guys, the crits are really nice. If you guys have any extra questions that I haven't answered yet, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, or better yet, hop into my Twitch channel where I do go live every Monday, Thursday, Friday, Pacific Standard Time in the mornings, and I do all kinds of stuff playing Vanguard Zero and hanging out and just chatting, so come ask some questions and hopefully get some live answers. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into some ranked gameplay and see what this deck can do. Alright guys, here we are for game 1, fighting against Angel Feather. Whoa! Okay, this will be exciting to see. Let's see how this goes. I'm actually very excited for this. Ooh, I can just return all these boys. I'm returning everything. Yep, I'm a ride chain deck. I can return everything, and there you go. Everything gets paid off. Now we don't have a grade 1 in our hand, so this is a rare scenario where I'm like, I hope I don't get anything off my grade 1 ride. Very rare scenario, because the bad part about the Spec Duke ride chain is that you do have to actually commit things to board early if you want to get value out of it, and I can't choose to take nothing, so I do not get access to a grade 1 that I can commit in order to activate my skill. That's what feels bad, but I do have plenty of grade 2s that I can commit, and I'm playing against Angel Feather, so I don't really need to constantly have plenty of cards coming to the board in order to kind of deal enough pressure to win the game. And we do appear to be fighting against an Ergodial ride chain, and they don't get the thing, which means they actually get to call the dude out of the soul, which is just heartbreaking. That's what I would have liked to have done, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll take these punches and then we'll dish out more later. All right, that's how it's gonna work. We're gonna get him on the clap back, okay? He's calling the pony. I don't know why. It can't hit, but okay. It literally will never hit. I don't know why he committed that, just so I can attack it. I mean, I'm going to attack it. I'm going to commit a lop ear to the back row. I'm going to commit a trip to the front row, maybe. And then I'm just going to bounce on his face and attack both the things. That's a good idea. So we're going to ride the grade 2 Vortimer, make me 10k. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and call this lop ear back here because he will attack, obviously, my grade 2. So I need to make sure I have one safe in the back row that I can use to superior call a better board. I'm going to actually swing at this because I want it dead. It's a really good card for him. And then I'm going to attack him directly because I know that my opponent, you know, is playing Ergodial, right? So he has the ability to sort of heal. So me trying to push for a lot of damage in the early game just kind of won't last. And I want to make sure that if I want to be aggressive, I save it for a point where I'm actually going to make the damage stick. You know, when they're not just like holding on to Ergodials in their hand because it's earlier in the game or after I've seen like 2 or 3 of them get used and stuff. That's when I'm going to really try and push for heavy damage. And he gets the grade 2 ride chain. So far, we're both getting our ride chains, but he's getting the full value out of his, which is nice. All he's doing is adding a grade 2 to his hand and replacing it with something else. Not the biggest deal in the world. There goes another grade 1 pony, so he's going to like keep that there, so that way I can't kill it. Very smart. And here comes some ponies and some dudes. Now, keep this in mind, boys and girls. Those grade 2s cannot hit my 10k unboosted, so maybe he should have held on to one of those boosters so that way he could actually deal 2 damage to me this turn. That might have been a misplay by my opponent that they didn't think about. Vortimer is normally a 9k, but now he's 10 thanks to having the grade 1 in the soul, so, you know, points there. And there goes a grade 1 PG, not good to see. Because I think, so far I haven't seen anything about his triggers or anything, but I've known for these decks to play crits, actually, and so, like, I'm a little nervous that they might be, so we could be in a little bit of trouble. But here we go. I'm going to ride Spectral Duke Dragon. We're going to go ahead and check our top 2 cards. We have a Pelennor and a grade 2 Vortimer, so this is huge, boys and girls. Because my opponent's a grade 2, I get to actually ride into my Pelennor. Luckily for me, I do have another copy of Spectral Duke in my hand. I would have been a little bit peeved if I didn't get to do that. And I get an automatic crit this turn. And the crazy thing is I still have crits in my deck, so I can actually push my opponent to 4 damage this turn if I get those crits, which would be just gigantically huge. So, this Pelennor, you know, like if you're gonna check a PG and superior call to your board, it may as well be a Pelennor, so you can have an automatic critical trigger as well, right? You may as well do that. This is a really cool thing about playing, you know, this many copies of Pelennor, is that this stuff can just happen all the time, and I still have my Spec Duke in my hand, so when stuff like really gets going, I can like actually ride into it and get full value. I'm actually contemplating at this point in time riding into Ezel on the following turn if my opponent gives me limit break, so I can fill up my board, and then on the next turn go for Spec Duke to try and finish him off. I feel like that's a really good way for me to kind of go here. They're riding into Shamsil, actually, SP Shamsil, very pretty, and they're gonna try and I guess, I actually don't know. Maybe they're just trying to increase their defense naturally, I guess, so that way they don't take as much damage the following turn. I'm not really too sure. So far, no signs, right? They are playing crits, though, so we know that for sure. So losing that PG will bite us in the butt later. They're playing Hermaries, of course they are. It's a really good card. And they're playing this as their heal trigger, I assume. Yes. So this is their draw trigger. I'm assuming they're playing like 3 Shamsil crits and then like 4 Godiel draws and then like 2 of these and like 4 of these maybe. Like they have a weird lineup, it looks like. And my opponent does not seem to be grasping that they need to boost things in order to hit, but they do push the 4 damage with this critical trigger check. I don't think they wanted to do that because now I can Rhine to Blonde Ezel, fill my entire board, and then on the following turn go for a big Spec Duke play, which I think would be super huge. And there goes another Pelennor draw. Don't like seeing that, but it's okay. So far this game is like in our hands, I think. They only have 1 card in their hand too, so like if I like control for their board as well, we could be in a really good spot. So let's see what happens. I will ride into Blonde Ezel. I don't think there's a reason not to. I also need boosters too. Like having 0 boosters is just bad. So, you know, let's try and make a board here. Ooh, we get the Din Drain and the Lop here. I'm gonna go for the Din Drain first, just for like a hard +1, because I don't really need too many specific boosters yet in play. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, I probably should have. No. That's the way. I could have called it behind the Pelennor so we could attack the Shamsil after a trigger check or whatever when she becomes 17. But it's fine. I can always get another booster if I need to. Like that. Oh, perfect. I'm definitely getting that because I don't want to call any more triggers out of my deck. I've already drawn so many. And I think I'm not going to commit much else, actually. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to probably go like oh, I'll become 27. Yes, okay, perfect. So yeah, I will call Vortimer here. And I'm going to swing in a way that like allows me to sort of potentially push for a game if I get a crit, which is pretty cool. Or even if I don't, actually. Which is kind of cool. So they do get the turn 1 defensive, which is fine. I can still hit them. If they have a PG in their hand and I get a crit, that'd be a pretty big deal. Or if they don't and I get a crit, that's an even bigger deal because I do get to win. But let's see what happens. There's the critical trigger. Do they have the PG in hand? Because otherwise they lose. That's the crazy part about playing crits and golds. They can just die. Okay, so there's that. Now they have no cards in hand. A grade 3 on board. I'm gonna take the initiative, I think, to sort of push them to 5, maybe. Yeah, I think that's the best course of action for us, is just to push them to 5. Sure, I give them their whole damage on the play with or whatever, but like I think this is just like the easiest way for me to win on the following turn. I could have killed the Hermaries, but unless they top like a booster here, I'm not really too afraid of dying on the following turn because this needs to hit and they need to like attack in a really weird order to sort of kill us, and I have an intercept and stuff. Maybe I should have attacked the Hermaries. We'll find out right now what they draw. Watch it be a heal trigger. Wouldn't that have been funny? Because then they would have checked on their turn, right? Because they would have drawn the no seal. But let's see. Like so far, I mean, I feel like I've just dominated this entire game. And so now that they haven't actually, so now it's impossible for the Hermaries to hit unless they get double trigger and I don't get a defensive. That's the only way that thing can hit. So let's see what happens here. They're going to put in the grade 3, and they're going to probably pull out, I don't know, there's no PGs in there, so I'm not sure what they're going to grab, but it's okay. Maybe just a grade 2 no seal for next turn, maybe? If there's going to be one. There probably won't be, because I'm going to ride this Spectral Duke Dragon and have a party, because I have 2 Counterblast. But let's see what happens. So there's the grade 1 pony. Okay, checks out. Actually, do I ride Spec Duke here? Given that they're at 5 damage, yes. If they weren't at 5, I probably wouldn't have, because I don't have a booster for my Vanguard. And so Shamsil could have just like stopped us from hitting, which would have been very, very bad for us. Because Spec Duke does not get another drive check. He only gets 1 drive check on his restand, not 2. So it could be hard for us to kind of hit over things sometimes. There's the Hermaries attack hit. So what they're going to probably do is call an interceptor, I imagine. So that way they can survive. But, you know, they need to be able to survive 2 attacks. One of them being Ezel powered. You know what I mean? So like as long as I can make Ezel plus 22 power sorry, as long as I can make Ezel 22,000 power or more this turn, I can just like guarantee the win, even if they get a 6 damage heal. So it's really no big deal. So let's see what happens. Yeah, no, the play is not the right Spec Duke. The play is just to stay on Ezel, yeah. Because if they do get a 6 damage heal, it will stop Spectral Duke Dragon, but it won't stop Ezel. So for now, Spec Duke, you're on the bench, but you got us our Pelennor, and that's all that matters. Because this game was way faster thanks to that, so that's really cool. Okay, so there's a Vortimer. All I need is something with like, what, 8k power? Like literally anything could be called here, and I think we're fine to hit over 22, because we're literally Ezel, and so Ezel just gets huge. Perfect. Another Din Drain. I'll get the Lop here. No, I'll get the Din Drain, yeah, because I already have enough grade 2s in my hand. And then we'll use the Drain skill, because why not? Just get nice little... Oh, I drew a crit. That's fun. I'm going to go ahead and call you... Just you never know. Double heals do exist. All right, I'm always in favor of playing for the worst case scenario. Always be prepared, as the GOAT from Hoodwink used to say. That's a callback right there. Can I get some hashtag Hoodwinked fans in the chat, please? That's the call to action. Hashtag Hoodwinked. Anyway, guys, that was game 1. Let's go ahead and move on to game 2. All right, guys, you're up for game 2 against Angel Feather again, and this is a different guy. I remember the last guy had SD in his name title, so this is a different human being. Oh my goodness, I'm playing 2 Angels in a row. I don't think that's ever happened since the deck has been existing, so that's really exciting actually, because I'm actually a big Angel fan, so this is nice. So my hand has no grade 3, so if we get the grade 3 off the check for the Vortimer ride, that'd be super chill, and then we'd be good to go pretty much. Our hand is perfect otherwise. I'm actually really excited. So they're not VP farming, they are mulliganing and playing, so, and they have sleeves, and they're Rekka, it's all a thing. And now, okay, so we're fighting against a different Angel Feather deck, which is just fun, I guess. Like, I mean, I find that fun. This is just gonna be a fun game. Let's see how different this game is. This is the Airmail clone, okay. Good for them. Hopefully this game I'll be able to show off Spectral Duke Dragon a little bit more. Like he got us our Pelennor last game, which was phenomenal, but you know, it's always nice to just get to like finish them off with the awesome Windbreak, you know. And we don't actually get the grade 3 Spec Duke, but luckily for me, I do have access to my grade 1 Vortimer that I can just put right here, and then next time I can get some Superior Calls going, and I do have a grade 3 in my hand, so you know, I'm not like thirsty for anything. And there's a crit. Oh boy. Something tells me the more I play with this deck, the more I play with it on stream and stuff, the more crits are just gonna fly out of nowhere, and we're like, oh baby, let's go. I'm very excited for that. Let's see, let's learn a bit more. That's the damage adder, right? Yes. Dude, damage adders and Angel Feather are so broken because you can like manipulate it to where like you have only triggers in your damage zone and then just start putting them back thanks to your damage adds. It's really cool. So there's the Armoro. So they're gonna draw some cards this turn. They're adding that to their damage zone for who knows why. And another person playing crits. So like I like seeing the like resurgence of like Angel Feather playing like, you know, more aggressive cards. But I'm more of a fan of like stands in the deck personally, because I feel like if you're playing like a Shamsil version, you can make like really big rear guards like he's doing right now, and that has just more synergy with me than crits do. Like stands have more synergy with that, I think, than crits do, but you know what, to each their own. So they buffed that up to 13, so that way it can still hit me, and it will. So I will be pushed to 2. They will draw 2 cards this turn, which is kind of huge, kind of refills their hand a little bit, because they did commit a lot, and they have 2 intercepts, so we're gonna have to like bring the pain if we want to try and keep up with what they're doing. And there's the Spectral Duke Dragon Destroyer putting in work. Feels good, man, feels good. So now our hand is literally just like amazingly perfect. If we get I would love it if we got another Pelennor just to like rub in the salt and stuff for the Angel players in the audience right now, but let's see what happens. So there's a Dindrain. I'm gonna go ahead and ride Vortimer here. Activating your skill, getting rid of the grade 1, and there's a Pelennor! Oh my god, this is why we play 4 Pelennors, boys and girls. This is why we play 4 Pelennors, because moments like these are great. So I won't get it. I again won't get the full value of Spectral Duke Dragon, but it's okay. I don't need it at this point. I just don't. So I'm gonna call you so I can kill the intercept, and I literally do not need to call a single other card. I could move you back, actually, and call a trip for some extra defense myself. I do have the damage add, so I'm going to do that, actually, because they're playing crits, and so I'm a little worried that, given that I don't have any PGs in my hand, I could be in trouble of, like, dying, actually, if they check a couple lucky ones, so I'm going to fortify my defense just a little bit. just a little bit. And really cool thing too is like if they don't ride Champ Seal, or like even if they do, now that I have boosters in my hand, I'll feel a lot more confident riding Spectral Duke Dragon and like using his skill to sort of like finish them off now that they're at 4. And I do have my crits in my deck still, so a really cool thing that could happen is like I could ride Spectral next turn, check a crit on my first check, and then they need to have 2 PGs in their hand, otherwise they just die if they don't heal. So that's really big. Now they do have access to 5 heal triggers in their deck because they are playing Angels and the Sunny Smile, so they could just start healing out the wazoo for like no reason and just like make everything I did kind of pointless. But you know what? It's fine. Let's see what happens. I believe. Do you believe? It's just crazy to me that we fought 2 Angels in a row. That's kind of like unheard of at this point in the format. Metatron's not even out yet. Like if Metatron came out recently, I'd expect this, but she's not here yet. So I'm kind of ecstatic about it because I love Angels a lot. And when Metatron comes out, oh baby, no, I'll be simping real hard. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. It's okay. It's okay though. So yeah, they're playing the Airmo clone, which I find that kind of cool actually. Just sort of like to dig for specific things, I guess. But I just realized they didn't actually kill my other interceptor or call another booster, so that's kind of huge. If they don't get a trigger here, heartbreaking. Let's see. All right, there's the heal trigger too. Oh, so Curio's their heal trigger. Oh, okay. So there's the heal. Cool. That's 2 gone though, so they only have 3 left. So mark that down, boys and girls. I'm definitely gonna ride into Spec Duke here. There's no reason not to. I don't think there's no reason to stay on Pelennor really. Ooh, speaking of Pelennor, definitely riding the Spec Duke here is good. Using my damage adder and like the cards in my hand to sort of push for damage here is really good. There's a Vivian. I don't know why I said Vivian. I'm gonna ride Spec Duke. I wish the skill would still activate when you rode on something else, but it doesn't. You have to ride on top of the original Grade 2. It's okay though. I'm actually going to choose to. Here's the thing, they are playing crits, and I have 0 PGs in my hand, so I'm a little in trouble if they. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it like in a really weird way, but here it is. So I'm gonna swing like with that, and then retire these 2 Grade 3s. I wish you could hit anything, Vivian. That'd be really nice if you could. And then we're gonna swing unboosted. If we get a crit, that's cool. If we don't, it's fine. Getting a crit on the next one would be god tier. Speaking of crits, so there it is. So let's test and see if our opponent has a PG in their hand this point. They do. I will be able to push them to 5 though, which is really nice for us. And I will draw a card, draw a PG. No, okay. Given the 1 intercept, I think it's very unlikely that we die. Oh, double crit. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, they had it! That's not cool! Oh, they had it. Could you imagine if we would have just romple-stomped this person with a double crit cheeky off the 1 drive check? Oh my goodness. But now they have like no cards in their hand. They only have access to, I believe, 2 more PGs? Because I saw 1, yeah. So they added 1 from the damage zone that we know about, but I didn't know that they had another 1 in their hand. So they did have 2. Oh my goodness, that would have been like the most hype way to win ever. And that was their last one too, which is crazy. I still have 1 credit left as well, which if we get it, oh my god, that'd be crazy. But they have no Grade 2s. If we get like a big enough board, we can just like kill them. This is, oh, never mind. There's a heal trigger. Never mind. Foot, meat, instant mouth. Now a crit first check would still win the game for us though, which is an interesting fact. And also all I have are Grade 1s in my hand, so we're not exactly in the best place to sort of mount any kind of offense. So let's see what we can do, I guess, is kind of the idea here. Name of the game, right? Yeah, just an army of Grade 1s. Grade 1 rush time. I see literally no reason not to just like spam call all these cards. Because the only way that I realistically win this game is that I get a crit on my first drive check, which would be huge, or I just kill all their rear guards and they can't hit me with anything. So I think what will actually happen here is I'm going to swing. Depending on when I drive check, I will determine whether or not I should restand. We got the crit! We did it! Oh my god! If they don't get it, wait, no, if they need to get, yeah, no defensives here. 1. There it was. Okay, so they got defensive. So now we need to get a trigger left, and we have 2, 3 in our deck. I mean, let's go, baby. Like, we just gotta do it, right? Maybe I should have kept the column. I don't know. All right, so there's a lop here. That's not a trigger. If we get a trigger here, we win the game. So let's find out. No, we do not, ladies and gentlemen. So they do get to survive. And now they have limit break. So now I can't, so now their Vanguard can hit me. But anything they would have top decked would have been boosted by this and been able to hit us. So, you know, it didn't really matter. But man, if they didn't get the defensive, we would have actually won the game, which is kind of crazy. Very close. They healed a lot, you know, and we didn't get any PGs, so we have just like no way to defend ourselves. So we just like kind of lost. So this shows you guys kind of how this matchup could go. It could go one way, it could go the other way. I'll probably do a third game because these first two are like really fast. So let's see what we can do. Miracle heal for no reason, just cause? Nope. And there's a PG just mocking us, being like, I bet you wish you had me in your hand. I kind of did, yeah. That would have been nice there, Mark. That would have been nice. All right, moving on to game 3. All right, boys and girls, here we are with the final game, playing against Gold Paladin mirror match. Ooh, and I'm fighting against Duck. I think this is actually one of the people that I commentated for during the Vanguard Zero Players Championship, so that's really cool. They appear to be playing either a Shadow Paladin deck or a Gold Paladin deck, so let's see what happens. Actually, I think you can't use the Shadow Ren skin. No, it's only Shadow, so he cannot be used for gold, so yes, I am fighting against a Shadow Paladin deck, hopefully the Shadow Duke deck, so you can kind of see like the war between these two titans right now, basically. Oh yeah, baby, here we go. So Shadow Duke versus Gold Duke. So let's see, once and for all, who's the best deck? I'm just kidding. You guys know my stance. They're pretty equal. Going versus a nice bet is a nice little way to go, though. And we do get the grade 2 Vortimer off of that Riot Chain effect, which is really nice. And we do have the Din Drain that I can commit this turn, and then now just pass. Very nice. Love to see it. A thing that I don't like about the Shadow Duke deck is that besides the grade 1 Vortimer, there aren't really any grade 1s you want to commit to board, because your AK beat stick is actually really useful for certain combo plays and turns later. And depending on what grade 1 you're playing, whether it's Aryan Rod or like Darkside Pegasus or just like some neat little techs, like for example, he's going to lose that AK beat stick, which is really bad actually, because you can do some really cool combos with it late game. But here we go. Let's see what kind of offense we can sort of mount against our opponent here. What's crazy is I've gotten Pelennor like all these games. I'm going to be really surprised if we get it again, because 3 times in a row is pretty crazy. So we get this and this. Boosters are nice. Calling Sentinels aren't nice, but given that I have 2 in my hand, I'm more okay with it than I normally would be. How aggressive should I be? Not very, I don't think. Because they can just sort of like clap back really well with it at us. So I'm just going to swing with my Vanguard first here. If I get a crit, I do. It's awesome. There's a heal actually kind of more huge if I'm being 100. Now, given that I don't have any damage adders currently in my hand, this could be like a you know, a curse in disguise, right? Where like I don't actually get to like get my limit break off and sort of push for the damage that I need to, because while I may not have really any strategy outside of limit break, they do. They have PBO, maybe even PBD as a way to sort of push damage against us while even not at limit break. So they kind of have the edge in the matchup, I think, because they can get inherent crit to sort of like control for your limit break, and they can play around not having their own. So it's actually gonna be a really interesting sort of like balance, I think, of whether or not we can sort of call our damage adders at the right time. Also, I know for a fact that Duck is a really good player, so let's see what kind of plays he can make. So he gets the main off the Bide Car, super value turn. That's like pretty much a +4 or something stupid like that. I'm being completely honest, but it's not the most pressuring thing. He needs to commit more boosters to the board if he wants to try and actually pressure us. There's one right there. Also, a big thing for them as well is that they do have Retire. We do not have Retire, but it kind of is like the same. Like the reason why us losing units is bad isn't because they can aggress us more. It's because we lose access to like being able to use our effect as often as we want, but they still lose units too, so like that's like the same problem basically. And he's not going to be too aggressive. He's going to call intercepts because he doesn't want to take too much damage before he gets into his whatever turn he's going to do. This kind of leads me to think he doesn't have Spectral Duke in his hand, so he might be riding into PBO or PBD first. There's a Disciple of Pain, which is super huge. I'm going to go ahead and kill this Mark because we don't need him, and we're going to get a grade 1 and a grade 2 Vortimer. I'm going to call the Trip. I don't have any counterblast, so there's really no point in calling the Trip, honestly. I could like make a really like crazy column, but I want to just like I want to kind of do the same thing that he's doing to an extent where I kind of just like call everything that I need. I'm going to hang on to the Trip though. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang on to everything else in my hand right now. I'm going to swing into the, because I don't need to boost anything for the domain. I don't really care if he deals me any damage right now. I'm at 1 damage, and if he deals me to 3, I can just use my Disciple of Pain. So I think this is a really good way for us to kind of mount a good offensive without needing to like commit too much from our hand. Also keep this in mind too, and I'm not sure what his trigger lineup is, but it's very likely that he's playing like a very heavy crit count and less so on the draw cards. So if we can kind of leverage that and maybe get a couple cheeky extra cards in our hand than him, we can have a better offense. And there's another PG going away for him. The first one I didn't really comment on because I was like, oh, fair is fair. But 2, you hate to see it for your opponent. You hate to see it. And we are playing crits, and so far they're all in there. So he is playing crits. I think it's safe to assume he's playing 9 crits. I'm going to be pretty real. I think 9 crits is pretty standard, honestly, for most Shadow Duke decks. I think it's also the best way to play Shadow Duke, honestly. So, like, I'm not, like, bagging on it, but I think it's, like, the best way to do it, especially for ranked gameplay, because this deck can just go super fast sometimes. But here we go. No limit break, because, obviously, Shadows don't have any limit break enablers, so they can't, you know, enable it for them. But does he push me to 3 here, or even possibly 4, because he does play crits? Let's see. He gets a heal, which is so huge for him. Okay, but I still have all my crits in my deck, so, you know, we can catch back up pretty quickly. Well, there's one left. Okay, foot, meat, mouth. My foot is inside of my mouth. So I have a really good hand for sort of mounting a really good offensive, and a really cool thing I can... Oh, I drew another crit. That sucks. That's okay, though. Right, Skip? A really cool thing I could do is I can either get a counter... So I'm going to call my 2 grade 2s. Those are going to be the best cards that I can call. I'm going to call the Disciple of Pain right here. And the way I'm going to kind of play this is I'm going to... Yeah. I kind of contemplated, like, attacking with... Oh, do I attack the rear guard here? I kind of really do. And the reason for that is that, like, when he's on Spec Duke, he can't really, like, commit more cards. Like forcing him to commit more cards to the board would be good for us, like, long game wise, and or possibly controlling for his limit break could be cool. I'm gonna swing Vanguard first here because I can. I'm just gonna swing Vanguard first and then just decide from there what to do. Crit, 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 crit. Nah, no crit, okay. I drew 2 of them, wasn't very likely. That would have been super nice early turn crit right there. No defensive, so that's super huge actually, because now I can just kill... Now, I know killing my intercept is a weird thing to do, but he's on Spec Duke, he's not on PBO. I'm not too worried about taking 2, and I drew another crit. Oh, come on, game! Now you're just being rude to me, game. Now he's being rude to me and I don't like it. And there's a critical trigger, so now, okay, good. I'm glad I attacked in the order that I did. Maybe I should have attacked boosted first in hindsight, so that way I could have kept the intercept. Might have been a smarter thing to do, but I feel like we're fine in terms of defense. And a really cool thing that I could do, like if he has another turn here, basically, where like he has no intercepts again, like he didn't have really that much last turn, I might just right Ezel and just like bum rush him to like push him to 6 damage with like as big of units as I can, so that way I can just like win the game if he doesn't heal this turn, which he probably won't. Hopefully won't. So there's a grade, okay, another grade 2, the exact same board. All right, hey, synergy is a thing, man. I like it. I like it. He's gonna swing Vanguard first. Interesting. So there's a crit. I will PG this, which is nice. He'll give the power to his Vanguard. It looks like there's a 3rd PG gone. So now we know he only has 1 in his hand maximum. So that's kind of huge to know. It's like, do I bank on him not having it at all, or do I bank on him having it? I think I should bank on him having it. He's seen a lot of cards. And there's a heal as well. Duck is proving how superior he is than me by getting all these triggers, man. Oh, that's God tier status. Does he attack us and give us limit break? Let's find out. He does. Interesting. I would have passed, honestly. And there's a 4th crit. Are you serious? I went through all 4 of my crits in like 2 turns, and I drew all of them or damage checked them. That's so ass, but it's whatever. I guess it happens. Well, this hand sucks. He's at 3 damage now, so I don't really see... Okay, the only way that I can win this game now is if I have... What do I have in here? I have actually a lot of triggers in there, it looks like. I have 4. Me getting a heal this turn would be really nice, actually. So I need to attack in a way that like allows me to heal if I need to. I keep this in my hand because I'm using grade 3s either way, basically. Oh, I should have attacked Vanguard first. That was stupid. Yep. Misplay already. And there's a heal. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He got the trigger, but it would have mattered. So now I need to hit double trigger and then triple trigger to hit both times. Oh, God. I'm just being stupid now. I was flustered by all the crits, so I'm just making dumb plays now. We still attack for the potential of getting a heal trigger, and he's revealed 6 of his crits. I'm not saying it's over, but it's probably over. Now, we do have all of our triggers in there, and we do have 2 heals ourselves. You never know. He's checked all of his and used 3 of them. Very hurtful, but it's okay. I'm feeling personally attacked by all these heal triggers in these 2 games, but you know what? It's fine. It happens. Oh, and there's a Nemain, super huge. Nemain's a really good card for this kind of archetype because it's it's one of those cards that just gets you advantage and then you don't even care if it dies because it's literally useless after that. So you can just kill it with Spectral Duke Dragon and it's just awesome. He's gonna swing his Vanguard first as he get one of his last few crits just to finish me off. He does not. Do we get a defensive here and possibly survive the entire match? We don't. Gee, thanks game for giving me all the hope in the world. Means the world to me. It's not like that defensive would have, you know, changed the entire game at all and given me an actual shot to win. Oh wow, if I had the what if I had the PG in my hand? What if I had it in my hand? Oh, and there's the crit just to rub the salt in the wound. Was that I bet you and I both know that was his last one too, because he has to have one in his hand. It wouldn't have mattered, but it just hurts that I lose to that crit as well. It just hurts. Hey, at least I get to keep my material. So you know what? Par for the course. Okay, boys and girls, that does it for today's video. Aside from a couple BS moments that just were like, you know, what am I going to do about it? I was able to show off kind of how the deck wants to play, what it can do, and I think how powerful it can be. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and click that bell for notifications so that you guys know when my videos go live for you. If I talked about anything in this video or you have more questions than answers, please be sure to leave them down in the comments below, or better yet, hop into my Twitch channel. I go live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I do all kinds of things in Just Chatting and Vanguard Zero, so come ask some questions and hopefully get some live answers. And don't forget guys, tomorrow I will be doing my Shadow Paladin Duke deck. And don't forget guys, tomorrow I will be doing my Shadow Paladin Spectral Duke Dragon deck profile, so definitely get excited for that. But anyways, with all that being said, as always, I've been your true champion, Steven. Please be sure to work hard, rest easy, and live well, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.